Recording has started. So I want to quickly review or revisit Git and how it works. So Git is a version control system, and what that means is it helps us to control different versions of our application. So what we want to do with Git is that when we make changes to our app, to our application, we are going to save it with Git. Then we can add more codes again, then save it again with Git. So that becomes two versions now. We can still add even more codes and save it with Git. That becomes three versions. So at any point in time, we can be able to switch to any version of our choice, any of them. Then, having explained that, let's start using it. So I believe you've installed Git on your device, man.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So let's create a project. So let's get this folder. Let's call it maybe e-commerce or something. So I want to assume that this is an e-commerce application, and in that application we're going to have different pages. So right click and click on git bash a, or you click on new terminal at folder. So this will open the terminal for you. Any question to this point?
No, sir.
Okay. So the first thing is you run this command git config hyphen user hyphen global user.name. Then you put your name. That is provided this is the first time you are running this command. I mean, this is the first time you are opening a project with Git. Then you do it this way. Then you put your name. Then when you are done, you press enter. It goes to the next line. Then you run this again. Git config hyphen global user.email. Then you put your email address. So you put your email address there. Then you press enter. So after running those two commands, you've registered yourself with Git. All you've just done is to make Git available or to recognize you on your device. So anywhere on your device now, Git now knows you. Next thing we want to do is to tell Git that we want to manage this e-commerce. We are currently inside this e-commerce. That's why we have the name here. We are currently inside this e-commerce. Next is we want to tell Git to help us manage this e-commerce application. Everything inside this folder, inside our current folder. So to do that, you just run this command git init. Git init. So what this git init?
That's if you already have the username and everything.
Yes, man. Yes, man. Okay. So that of the username and the email, you only need to do that once. You don't need to keep doing that for every project. You don't need to. You only need to do that just once. That's why we added the hyphen global. That's why we added the hyphen global. Please, can you hear me? Hello? Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, all right. So we have git. The first command we executed there was git config hyphen global user.name, your name. So this hyphen global is to make yourself available everywhere on your device. Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, after you run this command, you only need to do it just once. Just once. So meaning that if you start a new project or another project, you don't need to keep running this command again. This is just the
Okay.
first time you restore Git. Except if you want to register another user. But well, you may we hardly see reasons to do that, or you may not see reasons to do that. But just run it once. Next is when you now start a new project now, you start from where we're about what we're about to do. You run this command git init. Git init. So when you run git init, you are initializing Git. You are telling Git to manage everything inside this e-commerce app, inside this folder that you are. The other time we did open in terminal. We opened it in terminal. So when you run git init, you are telling it to start monitoring everything going on inside this folder. Any
Yes.
question? Okay. Okay, let's move on. So let's press enter. So by pressing enter, it has initialized Git. It has initialized Git. On Windows, instantly you will see master here. You will see master. Okay. That tells you that you already have Git initialized inside that folder. So what happens is it creates something we call Git repository. It's going to create something we call Git repository. So Git repository is like a folder that is being managed with Git. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move on. So next is let's create different files in this folder that we have here. Okay, my project. Okay, no, e-commerce. Okay, so let's create different files. We can create the first one, index.html. Sorry, someone wants to join. Let me quickly admit to this person. You're welcome, sir.
So I want to ask a question
Okay.
quickly. So I noticed that when you're creating file in this Git thingy, it usually shows this U at the end. What does that mean?
Usually shows
The U at the end.
Hello.
Hello, sir. You. I can't see any you. Okay, this you.
The green U, yeah, that one.
Okay,
That's one.
untagged. Untagged. It's telling me that Git is not tracking it yet.
Oh, because I know when we were doing the normal one, it doesn't show that. So that's why I was asking if it's different from what we were doing before.
Oh, okay. What a good observation. It's telling us that Git is not tracking it yet.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, sir. Mr. Abu.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to class.
Yes, sir. Sorry I joined late.
No problem, sir. So we are revisiting Git. We're just uh, reviewing it. Going
Our
back.
last class?
Yes, sir. Yes, I promised
Okay,
to
sir.
revisit it when we start the second stage. So that's what we are doing.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. So let's call this let's say landing page. Then let's create maybe a paragraph and just put Lorem there. Okay. So we have this file. Let's create maybe 2 more files. say this can be the maybe H1 about us. This is about us. Then let's get one more, which we can make this one to be CSS file.
Okay.
So we can say, let's bring it in. Is it href now? Yeah, href. And here's that CSS. So we brought in the CSS. Let's style it a bit. You can just say when you see any h2, I give it a background color of, let's say, like, I'll set the text of the color to, let's say, white. Okay, so let's run it on the browser. Why is it not styling it? H2, H2. What's going on? I'm coming. I'm trying to debug it to know what's going on. I want to be sure if it is the linking. That's okay. It's the linking. Index.css. It's not linking together.
I think the way you linked it is, I don't know if it's not the same with ours. I don't know if that's how it should be.
Okay. Oh,
Maybe you should check the link very well.
yes. Is this linking that's faulty?
There should be dot slash before the index.
Yes.
Index. Even the link spelling is not correct. It has link, then REL, then the equal sign, style sheet, in apostrophe.
Okay, thank you. This is what we're missing. Okay. Yeah, it should work now. Fine, it's working. So is that how we can? Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So we have three files here. The HTML, the CSS. Okay, two HTML files and one CSS file. Let's move
Storage.
Let me close this. So we want to, remember we already have this command git init here, which has initialized git, right? inside this repository. The next thing is this. Let me quickly explain how Git works. Whenever you want to save things with Git, you first place them in what we call a staging area. The staging area can contain many files. A staging area. So first thing is, if I want to save things with Git, I first place them in staging area. The staging area can contain a lot of files, 100,000 files, like as much as you want it to be. So next is, after placing it in the staging area, you now tell Git to commit everything it says inside the staging area, all the files there. So everything present in the staging area will be committed as one batch, as one version. Remember, Git is a version control system. So everything present at the staging area at that particular moment when you commit it will now be saved together as one version. Do you understand? Okay. Next is, we want to see how to stage things, how to place things in the staging area. To do that, you press git add, then the name of the file you want to place in the staging area. So let's first pick the first one, index.html. So we've added it. It's currently at the staging area, but not yet committed with Git. We are yet to save it with Git. Next is, you want to save it with Git. To save it with Git, you press git commit -m, then your commit message. That is, whichever message you want to add to it. Please, this commit message is very, very important, and make it as descriptive as possible. So, landing page. So we've committed it. So with Git now, the index.html file has been saved as one version. Remember, we are here to save the remaining two files. Any questions so far?
No question.
Okay. This commit is the one that is really doing the work of committing it with Git. Next is, you may want to see those files that are with Git and those ones that are not with Git. You may want to. In other words, you want to check the status of your application. So you run this command, git status. This tells you the files that are with Git and those ones that are not with Git. So according to what you have there, the about.html and the index.css are not committed, they are untracked. Mrs. Munira,
Yes, sir.
can you see this untracked?
Oh, yeah.
That's the U. That's you. That's
okay.
the other time. You can see the index.html does not have U.
It's gone. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's not. I don't know if I pronounce your name very well.
Don't worry.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Or you can give me maybe another that I will be able to
You can
pronounce
just
very
call me M if you get stuck.
I should just.
You can call me M if you get stuck.
Okay, M. Thank you. So we have these two files now, about.html and index.html, that are yet to be committed. So let's do something again. Let's add more codes to this landing page. Remember, we've committed this landing page. We can add new set of things here. We can say, let's create a div and just put maybe welcome to the landing to our e-commerce. So we have this, welcome to our e-commerce app. Now this, can you see this M? Can we see the M?
Yes.
Okay, it stands for modified. That is telling us that this particular file, index.html, is with Git, although you've committed it with Git, but Git does not have the present version of this file because Git does not have this line. The last time you committed it, there was no line 12. Like this line, this is not what we had on line 12 the last time we committed it. So that's why we have this M. It's telling us that although you have a version with me, you have a version of this file with me, the present version is not with me. That's what Git is telling us. So next thing is we want to commit. We want to please can we mute our mic? Okay, let's move on. So what is telling us is that the version you have with me is not the same as the present version. So next is we want to commit both the index and the about pages with Git. We want to commit the two of them now. The last time we only committed one. Now we want to commit two. Let's do that together. So we're going to say Git first thing, you first add to the staging area. You don't just commit directly. First add to the staging area. So you say Git add. So I want to add all the HTML files. So I'll say star.html. This star means add everything that ends with .html. So that means it's going to add this about.html and the index.html. The reason to add the index.html again is because it has been modified. Any question? Just any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Oh, Mr. Abu has gone.
No question
Oh, okay. All right.
for now.
No, I didn't know.
So git add star.asterisk.html. So this is going to add everything that ends with .html. So we have the two files now inside the staging area. The next is we want to commit everything in the staging area. So you run git commit -m all HTML files. Added. So we've added the two files, but remember we are here to add this index.css. So you can easily run git status to see those ones that have been committed and those that you are here to commit. So only the index.css is yet to be committed. So if you want to add all the files, maybe you want to commit all files. So let's do that together too. I can say git add full stop. This git add full stop will add all files, all of them. But of course, in this case, the only file that will be added will be index.css because it is the only yet to be committed file. Every other file, every other one has been committed. So since this is the only one that you are yet to commit, this git add all, we add this index.css to the staging area. Then you can now commit it. Git commit -m, maybe index.css or all files added. So you can see only one file changed. Any question? Any questions so far? Please, can we move on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next is
Yes, sir.
you want to see our commit history. You want to see those things that you've committed so far. So you run this command git what's it called? Git log. So this git log is going to log out your commit history to you, and it starts from the latest to the oldest. It starts from the last one we did. The last commit we did was all files added. Then the second to the last was all HTML files added. Then I think the first one we did was landing page added. So it's going to be in that order, from the latest to the oldest. So that's why we have this. We have this first one. This is the latest one, followed by this, then followed by this. So these are our commit history. Now, after logging it, maybe you want to switch your application back to the states it was as at the time you made a particular commit. Maybe, remember, one of the purpose of Git is to be able to switch your application to the state it was at a particular time, at a particular point in time. So maybe I want to switch our application now to the state it was when we made this first commit. So you're going to run this command git checkout, then commit ID. You use this ID. You can copy it and paste, or it's not must you write everything anyway. You can use the first 6 character. So git checkout, then you paste the commit ID. So it has switched my application back to the state it was when we made the first commit. If I go to the application now, you will realize that this is what we have here. You can see there's no CSS, index.css, there's no about.html because they were not part of the first commit. Any question? Can we move on? Mr. Abu?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I think I'm fine so far.
Okay. So you can also check out to the states it was when you made the second commit and all of that. So let's return our application back to the present state. To do that, you run git checkout main. Now, yours will be git checkout master. Git checkout master. Reason is this. How you're going to know is I'm coming. When you run git init, if you see master at your own end, then you run git checkout master. But if it is main, you run git checkout main. But I think by default it is usually master. So git checkout, then you put master here. It will take your application back to the present state. So application now is now back to the present state. So when we open it now, you see everything is back. The index.css is back, about.html is back, everything is back. So this is about the local git. Now to the remote part of it. I want to believe that we've registered on github.
GitHub.
Okay, so let's go to github.com. So here is github.com. So you want to, purpose of github.com is to be able to push our local codes because we have on our device online. Because the way it is presently is that if anything happens to our device, our codes are gone. Our application is gone. So our application is gone. You don't want that to happen. Also, it makes it possible for you to send your project to employers. They can easily check it out there. So to do that, when you log in, click on new. Then give it a name. Now the name you're going to give it should be unique in your Git account. That is, 2 projects inside your own Git account cannot have the same name. 2 projects cannot have the same name. So please, this name should be unique to your project. But it's a common practice that you use this same name, the name of the folder. Because what happens is, when let's go back to our offline version. I want to scroll up. Oh, okay, we're unable to. But what happens when you run git init? It's going to, I told you that you initialize git. And what happens then is that it's going to use the name of this folder as the name of your repository. I come again. It's going to use the name of this folder. This is the name of the folder. Let's go to desktop. Close. This e-commerce automatically becomes the name of our repository. Do we understand? When you run git init, what it does is that it automatically uses the name of that folder as the name of the Git repository. So we want to do the same thing online. Online, you want to create a repository name. This is going to do exactly what git init does. Please, are we together?
Yes.
Okay. So you can call it e-commerce. So this is available here. Then public or private. I think someone is using up. Okay, Mr. Abu. So e-commerce. Then describe it if you want to. This is optional. Then you can make it either a public repository or a private repository. If it's public, it's available to everybody to see. If it's private, only you and your collaborators can see it. Then, when you're done, click on Create Repository. So it's loading. Okay, so we have this. Hope we know how to create a repository now on GitHub. We have this. Next thing is this. You run this command git branch -m main. In one of our classes, maybe in our next class or next class, before I hand off Git, I will explain what branching means in Git. This branch, what it means. I'll explain it. So git branch -m main. You run this command if yours is master, but if yours is main, just the way mine is, leave it there. You don't need to run this command. Do you understand? If yours is master, most likely to be master. If yours is master, then you first run this command. What this is going to do is it will change that master to main. Immediately you run it and press enter, you will notice that that master will change to main immediately. That's the essence of this line, to change that master to main. That's because github.com assumes that your main branch is main, like okay, assumes that the, should I say, most important branch now, it assumes that it is main. That's the assumption of github.com. So you want to change your master on your own device. Your most important branch is the uh, master. You want to change that particular branch to main. That's the essence of this line. But I won't be doing that because mine is already main. Can we move forward?
Yes.
Okay. Next is you run this command git remote add origin this. Now, what this is going to do is this URL, you're going to be using this URL over and over again. You're going to be using it multiple times. So what you want to do is you want to give it an alias. So with this alias, instead of calling this URL over and over again, or anytime you want to use this, instead of typing this out, you just use the alias. You know, this is easier to use than this URL. And it's not a must to call it origin. You can give it any alias of your choice. Git remote add, give it an alias, then the URL. So I will copy this. Then I'll go to my terminal. Let me clear everything here. Okay. So I'll paste it here. Then press enter. So you've added it. Next is to push. Git push, just copy this. So this origin will be whatever name you give it. If you change yours from origin to any other name, then you use that name. So let's push it. So immediately you push it, it's going to tell you to log into your account, to your Git account, if this is the first time you are pushing on that device. If it is the first time, it will tell you to log in. But if it's not the first time, it's not likely that it will tell you to log in. The reason it's not telling me to log in is because I've pushed to my account, to this username a lot of times. But if it's the first time you're doing that, it will tell you to log in. This is my Git username, Atom21. So Immediately you log in, you press your username and password. If both of them are correct, it will allow you to push there. So I can now go online and refresh. So we have this. So what happens is when you push it, it's going to push all your commits. Your commit is, remember, when you run this git log, let's run git log again. Git log shows your commit history, Abby. Hello.
Okay.
Okay. So when you push, it's going to push this commit history to github.com. This commit history is what you're actually pushing. So, but the main one you so look at something. If I go to github.com, I can check those commit history. Let's go to github.com. Can you see three commits? Three commits. That's because I made three commits offline. That's why we have these three commits here. I can check the commit history. Okay, can you see the commit message I added for the first commit? This is the commit message we added for the second commit, and this is the commit message we added for the third commit. So this is my commit history. And the commit history is one that is actually pushed to Git. Okay, Mrs. M.
So I'm confused.
Okay.
Can you just go back to where you did after the push? What's the next thing to do?
Refresh your page. Immediately you push. Make sure you've committed
Okay, you just
offline.
press.
Yes, just refresh your page. Yes.
After you push, do you have to commit again?
No, except if you add new codes.
Okay.
Except if you add new code. But if you don't have any code, then you don't need to commit again.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. So this shows your commit history. But the ones you are going to see here will be the last commit you made. This is the last commit we made. But you can check other commits. That's why we have three commits here. If you want to go to the other ones, you can check these commits. But what you're going to see automatically is the last commit you made, and it assumes that this is the latest version of your application. Any question? Any question? So please, let's stop here tonight. In our next class, we are going to continue from here. We're going to see how to make use of Git pages. Then, if time permits us, we'll look at Git branching. Thank you so much. Then now I have an assignment for you. Push all your projects to your Git repository. In our next class, I'm going to ask for the link. This is what you're going to send to me. The URL like this. So push all your projects to your, in fact, okay, I will just request for your Git username. So right in class, I'll go and check it myself. So I will just search for your name, github.com/your username. So my own username is at21. So when I get to your account, I'll be able to see those for all your public repository. Please push all your projects, every project that you did in the first stage. Push all of them. All of them will stand. They will be separate repositories in your what's called on your GitHub account. They will be separate repositories. So if you have any problem while doing that, let me know. Thank you so much. Have a lovely night rest.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your time, sir.
You're welcome.